for him to go on the book tour so that he can answer the questions of the American people. Security risk perhaps may be true, according to what Abby has said and what his office is saying.
Who would be the security risk, though?
I don't know.
Who would be the security risk?
Wait a minute. The book is about.
Who is the risk?
Scott,
Can we just admit who the risk is?
The book is about.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Common Thread. Earlier this week, Scott Jennings was back on CNN's Newsnight with Abby Phillip, and once again, the discussion turned into a showcase of Democratic confusion and chaos. They were talking about the latest continuing resolution to avoid a government shutdown. But let's be real, what stood out the most was just how lost the Democratic Party seems. No leadership, no direction, just the same recycled nonsense. Oh, and guess who else made a surprise appearance? That's right, the all-knowing Ana Navarro from The View, because apparently we needed more dramatic eye-roll moments. Anyway, let's watch Scott Jennings try to make sense of this circus, and watch him dismantle every weak argument they throw at him. Let's get into it.
Was interesting. This is whether Democrats should work with the GOP or stop the Republican agenda. But what I want you to look at here is how this has changed. And back in 2017, 74% of Democrats said they should work with the GOP. Now, 57% say they should stop the Republican agenda. There has been a complete shift in the mindset of the Democratic Party. They want resistance. They want a Tea Party.
100%. And what you just said, we should listen to the people. You said, as a congressman, am I correct in saying that you just said we should listen to the people? Why aren't they listening to the people? There's no leadership. There's nobody doing anything. And what we saw, honestly, was a cave. Yet again, another example with Schumer saying, I don't want the smoke. And we're asking, I mean, they are begging. She just showed the dramatic shift. I don't understand what the problem is. Why is there nobody, for lack of a better word, with some cojones to stand up and say, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Well,
if
look,
you know we need it, and I'm not trying to give you the smoke, but if you know we need it, why is it not happening?
look, we need to throw a punch. That's correct. And the American people want us to throw a punch.
By the way,
And we need to-
political punch, not literal punch, because then they're going to say stuff.
Now, of course, you know, the proposals that they're bringing are horrendous enough for us to do that, and we should do that.
What's horrendous about the CR? It continues funding the government at Biden.
Horrendous about the CR is that it is a cut.
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
If you do not consider the cost of doing business, if you do not consider that the cost of living, for example, has gone up, that everything has gone up.
Now you're changing. It's not a cut. You're being
It's a
dishonest.
cut.
It's not a cut.
It's a cut.
It's continuing
A cut is a
funding the
cut is a
government at the
cut.
same levels. It's not a cut. You voted to shut down the government. You voted to lay off every veteran in the federal government. You're making a passionate plea for why Democrats didn't shut down the government. And now Chuck Schumer can't even have a book tour because Democrats are so enraged that the government was shut. And I'm just confused because last week I was told that people going and expressing their First Amendment rights was part of their democratic and civic duty. And now Chuck Schumer can't even have a book party with Democrats over it. I'm trying to decide.
I mean, Scott, I
what's
actually
right.
think that Democrats are in agreement with you in the sense that they probably think Chuck Schumer should,
Yes,
to
exactly.
Gary's point, take the smoke.
2 weeks ago, he
Show
was
up at
attacking
book
Show up and
events
take
and
he should show up and take the L is what I'm saying. No one's saying he can't have it, Scott. He can do whatever he chose to, but once again, another example of him deciding to hide.
All right, I'll be honest with you. I probably should have done a little homework here because I have no idea who that guy on the panel was. I think he's a congressman, maybe? Either way, I have no clue what he thought he was saying. He starts rambling about cost of living and the cost of doing business. Like, what does that even have to do with a continuing resolution? Someone explain that to me, because from what I understand, the CR isn't technically a cut. Yeah, they shaved a bit, about $7 billion, from places like the IRS, housing and urban development, and some earmarks. But in the grand scheme of a multi-trillion-dollar budget, that's barely a speed bump. So, sure, it's better than a shutdown, but let's not pretend this changes the game. Business as usual rolls on through September. Anyway, let's see what else these brilliant minds on the panel have to say.
I would love for him to go on the book tour so that he can answer the questions of the American people. Security risk perhaps may be true, according to what Abby has said and what his office is saying.
Who would be the security risk, though?
I don't know.
Who
All
would be
I'm
the
saying-
security
Wait a minute.
risk?
The book is about.
Who is the risk?
Scott,
Can we just admit who the risk is?
The book
left,
is about
right?
anti-Semitism, right? So I guess somebody that might be anti-Semitic might target
So, the left.
Chuck Schumer. Tomorrow, he's supposed to be on The View. I think that hasn't changed. He'll be on the hot seat there. I also think he should go on this book tour, because if we are talking about Republicans who don't have the cojones, to quote you, to show up to actually even do town halls, even though there were town halls of constituents all over the country this weekend begging the Republicans to show up and answer questions. They refused to do so. But so I think Chuck Schumer should face the music, should, as harsh as it may be, should answer people and should portray some leadership and confidence, which he has done in the past.
Okay, I think Chuck Schumer was the adult in the room. He did what the American people want. The American people want government. They want people to get deals done. And the fact of the matter is people don't want to punch. The fact of the matter is people are actually excited. NBC News on Meet the Press, they reported their polling found the highest level of enthusiasm and the country going in the right direction since 2004. 20 years. So President Trump is doing exactly what he campaigned on. That's why 76% of people said, according to CBS polling, agreed with his State of the Union speech, which included a lot of independents and a lot of Democrats who were watching that speech.
Carrie.
That is why...
Carrie, my namesake, Carrie.
Yes, my fellow Carrie.
You do know what you're saying is incorrect. I don't care about the polling.
Talk to NBC.
The American, I don't care what NBC is saying. I can talk to the people on the streets. Are you on the streets? Are you talking
Absolutely,
to people
I am.
in real life situations who have everyday jobs who are saying they're unhappy? You know very well.
Are you saying
that no one-
CNN polling is wrong?
No, what I'm saying is,
that Joe
don't do
Biden
me.
under-
Don't try me today, Scotty.
We
what
put
I'm
out a-
saying
we
to
put
you
out a
is that
CNN
you
poll.
know
Are you saying
by
our
and
polling
large.
is wrong?
No, what I'm saying to you is that you know by and large people are not happy. This
No,
is
they're
not,
very happy. They're unhappy with Democrats.
Look, I can't ignore the question Scott Jennings asked, and it's a good one. If Chuck Schumer goes on his book tour, who's the actual security risk? Republicans? Come on. The man's not worried about conservatives storming his signing table. Let's be honest here. Schumer's afraid of his own party, and no one at that table had the guts to say it out loud. But you could feel it. The silence said everything. They all know how dangerous the far left gets when it's angry. It's not a conspiracy, it's a pattern. Schumer, one of the most powerful politicians in the country, surrounded by top-tier security, still won't go on tour. Not because of Republicans, because he knows his own base has become that unhinged. Even Ana Navarro, trying to save face, floated the idea that it's because the book's about anti-Semitism. Really? So now it's pro-Palestinian extremists? Well, what party do those people tend to vote for? It's not hard to connect the dots, Anna. You're a smart woman. Don't play dumb now. And then, and this part really got me, she has the nerve to say, Republicans don't answer questions? What planet is she on? Since when? I genuinely don't know what she was talking about. At this point, I think even the people in the studio have tuned her out. Just background noise. But what do you all think about this whole conversation? The government funding debate, Schumer ducking his own event, or the absolute mess the Democrats have made out of basic leadership? Let me know in the comments. And hey, if you're enjoying watching Scott Jennings consistently come off as the smartest person in the room, you're in luck. I've got a whole playlist building out now, and one of those videos should be popping up on your screen. As always, you guys are the best audience out there. I can't tell you how much it means that you spend even a few minutes of your day hanging out with me here on The Common Thread. Never forget, Jesus loves you. I'll see you next time.